Hey y'all, what it is. Okay, so confession time. What? So everybody has quirks, right? Everybody has something about them that they're self-conscious about. And I have always, as long as I can remember, I've always had growths inside my ears. And they were getting worse. So today, that's what I went to see the doctor for. I did not want to talk about it until after the procedure was done because I didn't know what to expect. So I've always had growths, and I remember when I was dating the second husband, the narcissist. We were early in the day, probably in the middle of our dating or something. I don't know, but he noticed and he goes, "You need to take a Q-tip and, clean that out." And I said, "They're attached to me. That don't come out. I clean my ears all the time. They don't come out." And he's like, "Oh." So I noticed that there were more in there. And so let's see. I just finished having a ear infection because they were starting to itch me, and so I would clean my ears more and more and more, and I was getting probably a little aggressive about cleaning, and because it also relieved the itch. Well, I irritated the crap out of my ear, and I caused myself an ear infection. So I just got off of antibiotic or antimicrobials today. I was on them. You have to put 10 drops in each ear once a day for 7 days. So that's a lot of medicine, right? So I just finished it today. And then I went into the ear doctor so that they can see, the ones that were in here, she sprayed some freezing stuff in there. It's such a weird sensation. It's like, and it'll cause them to drop off, I'm sure, hopefully. Such a weird sensation. And then this side, she did a biopsy of it. And that was intimidating because you're talking, they got to numb it. She's got to cut, snip it and then send it to the lab to see exactly what it is. Because I thought they were skin tags. She thought they were warts. So I said, "Has anybody ever had these in their ears before?" She said, "Not in their ears." She's never seen that before. So I'm like, why do I have to be so different? So original. So the needle in the ear, right? I'm thinking, oh, God. I mean, just the word, let's just be real. The word biopsy is scary. Okay, let's just keep it real. It was a piece of cake. I don't know what I was super calm before I went there. I was calm when I went there. But a little nervous about, okay, how exactly are we going to numb it? And so it went well. Everything was smooth. Everything went well. Very well. So she just did like 2 injections. The needle is probably really, really, really small. 2 little tiny pinches. No big deal. And then she would test it to see if I could feel anything, which I didn't, which is perfect. And then she snipped the one that was the longest, and she sent it to the lab, and we'll take it from there. So that explains why it never responded to skin tag medication. I've tried everything under the sun, and nothing was working. So anyway, that's my ear story. If you have to have it done, it's not that big a deal. Usually, a lot of times, it's scarier in your head than reality. Let's just keep it real. So anyway, I talked to a lady today who confirmed everything I said. I didn't even bring it up. We just happened to be talking about racism in Missouri. She mentioned it. And then the back of my head, I'm going, I just finished talking about this the other day in a video. I didn't say anything because I don't tell people I do videos. I don't tell them. I told Hippie, and now he stalks me on my page. he always has his nose all up in my business. So it's weird. It's weird and creepy. Move on with your life, fool. Move on with your life. Go have mommy and daddy give you some more groceries and buy you another house. Anyway, because you know you can't afford it. And have them buy you another car. Because you're a baby and you can't afford your own shit. Anyway, all right, let me stop being sassy. I can't help it. It's in my bloodstream. So we got to talking about racism, and she brought it up, and I was tripping because, like I said, I just finished talking about this. I just finished talking about how Missouri is awful with that. Do y'all remember I told you that my first husband, when he was in the line, they looked around him to the person who's non-brown, the white person behind. Can I help you with something? She told me about that happened right in front of her. Her name is Lisa. Nice lady. I met her today. Hopefully I'll see her again tomorrow. Real nice lady. Anyway, Lisa's white. She don't play that. If you think you're going to discriminate in front of her, you got another thought coming. She don't play that. Maybe we're fireballs because we're from the East Coast. I don't know what it is. We're like, oh, hell no. She's from the East Coast too. And she is sassy as hell. And she's not going to take that off of you. She said, you didn't see this right in front of black lady. She just looked around her. She said, you didn't see this beautiful lady standing right here? Oh, I thought she was being helped. How did you think she was being helped? Nobody was helping her. And so the black lady went like this to Lisa. It's all right. It's all right. She's like, no, it's not all right. She's a fireball. She's not going to take no crap off you either. So it's not just me. It's refreshing to see someone who's not a minority who has zero tolerance for that. Zero. She's not having it with you. In fact, if we went out and something happened, she would probably be more aggressive than I am, because sometimes I'll say something and other times I'm like, I'm not going to be nice about this. I'm going to be hateful. So let me just chill. She'd be like, oh no, we're not chilling. What's your problem? And she would read that person the riot act. Okay. So she said, I don't like people. I said, you and I both. I don't like people either. There's exceptions to the rule. She went on vacation by herself because she didn't want to be bothered with people. Okay. I would do the same thing. You don't always have to have somebody up in your face. You do not always have to have somebody up in your face. Sometimes your best vacation is with you. You're on your own schedule. You can sleep in. You could go to bed early. You could go to bed late. You could have breakfast in the middle of the day. You don't have nobody in the background going, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Blah, 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 blah. Why don't we go shopping all day? Maybe you don't want to go shopping all day. Maybe you want to lay on the beach and look at the freaking waves all day. You know what I'm saying? So there's freedoms to doing things by yourself. I do the same thing. If I had enough money to go on vacation, bye. She said she has met immigrants who have lived down deep south. Deep south. And they said that Missouri is worse with the racism. I told y'all this. I'm not making it up. I wanted to interview her so bad. I wanted to tell her, if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to be. But do you think that you would be willing to have that conversation off camera? But I just met her, so I didn't really want to overwhelm her with that. But I told y'all, I'm not making this up. I don't lie to y'all. Okay? So I told her about the college. University of Missouri. I said, and she knows all about the guy. His last name is Gaines. I don't remember his first name. He was the first black guy back in 18 or 19 something. I can't remember which. Might have been 1950. I can't remember. But he applied for law school and they didn't want no parts of him because he's the wrong color. It was right here in Missouri, called Mizzou, also called University of Missouri. So he took it to court. The court said, you will let him go into law school. You will get over it. But he decided, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And then for 10 whole years, black people were not, or people of color, not just black, people of color were not applying to the school. When they tried to apply, the school discouraged them from going there by saying, we will pay for your entire education. Just go to another state. Get your ass up out of here. That's Missouri for you. If you have a thin skin and you are easily intimidated by people, you will not, and you're a person of color, you're not going to make it here. You're going to get run all over. You will not get hired anywhere. The larger cities are used to seeing a lot more ethnicity, so they have a little more tolerance in a bigger city. But small towns, Anytime the NAACP has to tell you, do not stop in Missouri if you are traveling, that is not in your best interest. You will more than likely lose your civil rights. Again, I'm not making this up. I also told her, she knows about Gaines, the guy who applied for school. I also told her how hard it is to get jobs around here in small towns. I also told her how I was treated at the ambulance district and how my coworker was treated because we are people of color. I told her, they treated me like garbage. So you're not going to have a thin skin and make it here if you are a person of color. You're going to have to speak your mind. You're going to have to be willing to say, I know I ordered my food, but you don't really seem attentive to me, so I'm going to leave. I'll pay for my drink and I'm out of here. Meanwhile, they're going to waste all that food because they made it for you. You got to learn to hit people in their pocket, because corporations, companies, universities, all of them, hospitals, all of them are businesses. The only thing they understand is a karate kick in their money. That they understand. I'm telling you, if anybody watching this video, if you are people of color and you know your child is of age to go to college, do not send them here. I'm telling you. Let's hit them in their wallet. Let's hit them in their pocket, because you talking is just words in their ear. Blah, 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 blah. They do listen to less money in their pocket. That they pay attention to. So when less people come here, that'll wake them up. It'll shake their tree. Will they change their ways? Probably not. But they'll get upset that they're losing money, because that's the only thing they care about. I went to the ER and I was treated like crap. Most of the time I was treated well, each time I had to go. But one time in particular, I felt like the nurse didn't really want to be bothered with me. Am I the only brown person that's ever come to this hospital? Now, don't get me wrong. Every time I've gone, and I've been a lot, had lots of surgeries, okay? Every time, just about every time, everything went well. However, the worst thing that I went through was waking up from surgery with absolutely no pain medication. No pain medication. If you look at medical research, you will see, you'll be horrified, but you will see where white people thought they would do painful procedures on people of color because it was believed that people of color have a very high pain tolerance. So they would do a lot of procedures on them. This has been happening ever since and ever since. They would do procedures on people of color without anesthesia because y'all can tough it out anyway. So that was their excuse. Oh, well, they can handle the pain. It's good. It was so traumatizing The individual who drove the ambulance, the EMT or whatever the hell he is. I was an EMT. I never treated my patients like I was treated. He was snotty. He was bitchy. He was moody. He had zero compassion for me. It was chilly outside and I was out. They were putting me in the ambulance to take me down the street and he didn't cover me up or anything. And ladies, I don't have to draw you a picture of chilly outside. You ain't got nothing on except a paper towel, which is what a freaking hospital gown is. So your boobs are like, hi, everybody, hi. And this motherfucker didn't bother covering me with the blanket because you ain't shit no way. I'm pissed off that I got to take your ass down the street. I don't even want you in my ambulance. I'll probably have to disinfect the whole thing when you get out. That's probably what he's thinking. He treated me like shit. The surgeon treated me like shit. And then had the nerve, I said, when I had my post-op, good Lord. When I had my post-op visit with him, which was my last visit. And then I got a real surgeon, a real doctor. I said, you and I discussed a nerve block. Why didn't I get it? Oh, no, that's up to the anesthesiologist. I said, you and I discussed it. Would he have ever done that to one of his kind? No, of course not. But he don't have respect for people anyway, because I remember he said, well, you're not going to have, whatever the topic was, you're not going to have a problem with that. That's only patients that are fat. Did he really just say that? You couldn't say that more delicately, like, you know, patients that, you know, have more weight on them, you know, heavier patients or patients that are above their body mass index or whatever. You couldn't say that in a more politically correct way. Oh, that's only if you know, if you're fat. I've never heard a doctor say that, and I hope I never hear a doctor say that again. That's rude as hell. He's very narcissistic. He's very, I asked him for a pink cast on my leg, and he wouldn't do it. That's just for kids. Well, that's pretty funny. I'm thinking to myself, I've seen adults with pink casts on. Obviously, their doctor didn't give a shit. He wasn't going to do anything he don't want to damn do. If he don't want to give you a nerve block and give you decent pain medication, he ain't going to damn do it. The doctor who did my hand surgery is a wonderful man. He don't give a shit if you green, yellow, purple, orange, yellow polka dots. He don't give a damn what color you are. Stripes, green stripes. He doesn't give a shit. He loves everybody. And he's very down to earth. And he's from Canada. He relocated to another city, which sucks because I love him dearly. And if I had to have surgery on my other hand, I'd want him to do it. But we'd have to go out of state to get, I think, is he in Illinois? I think, I'm not sure. I could easily find him online. I told him, he saw me with a cast on my leg because I just had surgery on my hand and then I broke my leg that same month, the end of the month, right? It was just a mess. And so I went in for my follow-up hand visit and my hand surgeon said, he had a resident in there. It's a teaching hospital. He said, what happened to your leg? And I told him. And then I stopped myself because I was trying to continue to tell him how I was treated by the surgeon, but I couldn't get the words out because I'm struggling not to cry. Because that was extremely traumatic. It was abusive. It was hateful and abusive. But again, narcissists aren't going to do anything they don't want to god dang do. If it puts you in a lot of pain. And so that's how they operate. Y'all know that. Those of you that dealt with narcissists, you know how this works. They're assholes. So I was trying not to cry, and he said, and I'll never forget this, he was patiently waiting for me to say what I had to say. And I said, I'm doing this number because I'm trying to keep it together. He said, this is a safe space. Take your time. It's okay. Like, take your time. So he was so kind and so warm. And I pulled it together. It was not easy, but I pulled it together. And I told him what happened. I said I woke up with no pain medication. And he just stared at me. He had a look on his face like, the look said, what the hell? He didn't even have to say a word. I already knew what his thoughts were. What the hell? Who does that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, who does that? You go drill into somebody's broken bones and put metal rods in there and screws about that long in somebody's leg and with no pain medication? It is just mind-blowing. So he said to me, I love him. This man is wonderful. Oh, I love him. Not like that. He's married, okay? Not like that. But as a person, as a human being, I love him. He said, I told him who the doctor was. He said, you want me to talk to him? I said, that would be great. Most doctors are not getting involved. That's between you and your doctor. Y'all gonna have to work that out or whatever. But I know, and you know, that a doctor is more likely to listen to another doctor because that's a colleague, not a whiny patient. It's somebody on his level. I'm a surgeon, you're a surgeon. We're not better than each other. We on the same, playing field here. And I'm pretty sure he told him, yo, man, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. I made complaints online. I made complaints to guest services, which don't mean a hill of beans. I don't know if supervisors find out about that, but I'm glad that he offered to have a little chit chat with him because he really didn't have to get involved. He's a wonderful man. My right hand's been giving me problems, not very often, but sometimes, so I could have arthritis in this hand also. If I ever had to do the surgery, I would definitely want him to do it because he's so... I just adore him. He really cares about you. He really does. Color is not even on his radar screen, please. As it shouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got confirmation of everything I was talking about. Not that I needed confirmation about the hatred here, but someone else brought it up. I did not start that conversation. It just happened. And I was like, I cannot, like nonverbals, I cannot believe we're talking about this. I just did a video on this. But the other doctor, I will tell you his name. The mean doctor is Dr. Delareese. Delareese? Delareese? I can't remember the prick. But anyway, the nice doctor is called Dr. Lalonde. Like lollipop, Lalonde. And he is in Illinois, I believe. He did my hand surgery. Wonderful man. He's originally from Canada. Him and his wife have a child, and they're teaching, or maybe children, and they're teaching them French so that they're bilingual. Because he's from Canada. So I think that's wonderful. He cares about you. The surgeon I got after I got rid of dumbass, narcissist boy, Dr. Narcissist, he is the opposite of that doctor. He's just like Dr. Lalonde. And when I told him what I went through, because I'm going to tell my new surgeon, I'm going to tell him. He just looked at me like this. He had a look on his face like, what in the hell am I hearing? But he can't say that, right? Because it's unprofessional. But I know god dang well that's what was going on in his whole face said that. What the hell? Exactly. He is caring. He's considerate. I said he wouldn't give me a pink cast It's not the idea of the pink cast. It's the idea of you ain't getting nothing unless I want you to have it. You know what he said to me, the new doctor? Oh, I can't think of his Dr. Schweiss? I can't think of his name. Anyway, he said, if you asked me for a pink cast, I wouldn't care. I'd give you a pink cast. He don't trip like that, okay? He's not a control freak. He don't, you don't trip off that. Very kind, very sweet. I was getting really hot in there. He noticed I was getting hot. He said to the nurse, because the nurse was in there, are they working on the air conditioning today? What's going on? She said, yeah, they're working on the system. And he's like, okay, well, it needs to get fixed. In other words, I don't want my patients being hot. Good man. He removed the metal from my leg because I was having problems with it. He said, we'll do surgery a year from now after I had, whatever, all the metal put in. They let you heal for a year. And then if you want to do surgery, then we'll do it. If not, that's okay. It's totally up to you. Well, I wasn't going to go under the knife again because I'd had enough surgeries. Okay. But, it wasn't even cool outside yet. It wasn't even remotely cool outside and my leg was freezing. And I was in the process of going, I'm not having another surgery. I'm just not doing it. But my leg was so cold and I was under electric blanket. It wasn't cold outside yet. It wasn't cold. And my leg was freezing. And once it got cold, it would not warm up because you got a ton of metal in there. I used to joke and say, oh, a hardware store ain't got nothing on me. Okay. But he was very caring. He was very kind. We did do the nerve block. He said, I'm not going to let you suffer like that. He also sent me home with the, I showed you guys, I did a surgery. After I did my surgery to get the metal out, I shared with you the cue ball. That is a tiny catheter in my thigh and it's filled with medication. It looks like a ornament on a tree and you, I don't know, you carry it in a pocket thing. I forget how all that went down. But he hooked me up. He sent me home with plenty of medication and you good, honey, because he gonna take care of you. All right? So, yeah, some people are something else. They're a piece of work. But it makes you appreciate the good ones 1,000% more. It makes you appreciate them because you're like, oh my God, you're the total opposite. I adore you. Thank you so much for having respect for me, So anyway, people are something else. They just, yeah. Yeah. Wow. And I've said this before and it just doesn't make any sense that people trip off of something that you have zero control over. You can't change your skin color, number one. Number two, what does that have to do with who you are here, inside? What does that have to do with that? Nothing. Do y'all remember the story of, and I told Lisa about this today, I said there was an issue on Delta Airlines. Yes, I'm going there. There was an issue with a patient, a passenger became a patient. They had issues on the plane. And the lady said, the flight attendant said, is there anybody who's a doctor? We need a doctor to help us with this patient, with this passenger. And the black lady stood up and the flight attendant said, no, sweetie, we're looking for a doctor. She was a doctor. She used social media to her advantage and she put their asses on blast. This was years ago. And thankfully she used, social media to her advantage. And I'm sure Delta Airlines was going, oh my God. And hopefully those people, whoever was involved in that, the flight attendant should have gotten fired. If you're not intelligent enough to realize that somebody can have education up here regardless of their skin color, you about a damn dumbass and you need to be fired. I wouldn't trust her to ask you, would you like fries with your order? I wouldn't trust you to work at McDonald's. because you're just not very smart. Wow. That's all I can say about that is wow. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Much love, much love, much love. And I'll be talking to Lisa again soon. Hopefully I'll talk to her tomorrow. I would have loved going on vacation with her. Oh my God, that would have been so much fun. So much fun. She went to the Outer Banks. So she said there's islands from Virginia all the way down to North Carolina, and she was in the Rodanthe area, but south of Rodanthe. I think it's called Rodanthe something. Anyway, there was a movie about it. There's wild horses there and stuff. We've got wild horses here in Missouri too, so it's pretty neat. I've not seen them, but I know people who have, and I'm jealous because I want to see them. So anyway, I'm going to change into some clothes that if they get dirty, it's not a big deal. You know, when you have a dog, you can't dress nice because you're going to be filthy by the end of the day. So anyway, you guys take care. Much love, and I'll talk to you soon.